Alright guys, so I haven't done one of these in a while, and I really don't know where to sit, and I decided, you know what, it's 2:03 in the morning, no crazy editing, no fancy nothing. Obviously I'll get rid of the ums and the buts in this video, but I used to do a thing where I'd like go through and read hate comments, and I decided to go through the comments and just pick like a general amount to just kind of go over things, because I realized I post a lot of videos and a lot of my life is pretty vague. And you guys really don't see what goes on behind the scenes, so I'm like, screw it. Let's just go over, let's pick a certain percentage of hate comments, a certain percentage of genuine questions, a certain percentage of comments. No scientific reason for any of them. I decided I'm gonna screenshot it from my other phone and I'll just use my backup phone as the one to do. But I am gonna go in order from newest to oldest. So I went back about 4 weeks and just picked comments that I thought made sense. Come on. Come on. Here, come here. Right here. Here. Good girl. Also, I give her her own bed, and she still decides that the floor is her oyster, and that's where she wants to be. I don't want this to come out negative. I genuinely, a one-on-one with you guys, and for the guys interested, let's just cut the crap and get into it. Justin, I'm not gonna post any of these comments up here, but Justin asks, why are your trucks always broken down? I don't know why he says trucks, but I have one truck. I know you drive all over the country, but come on, I've never seen somebody with as much problems as you. What's the deal? So, first things first, good question. Bad analogy. I don't know what the term for that would be because I literally only have one truck. Every other truck that you see in here is either I picked one to part out or it's a customer truck that I'm fixing. But this is Bertha. 3 years ago, I decided to replace my black truck that I had, my 04 that I had a 12 valve in, and I replaced that with Bertha. This is an 06 Ram 2500 with a 5.9 Cummins and a 48 RE 4-wheel drive, the whole 9 yards, right? Now, granted, you can go and buy one of these trucks, keep it completely stock, and have no problems. Here's the problem. In my case, I do a lot of social media. A lot of this is free advertisement, but I do a lot of social media, and I used to come from car culture. I loved modified vehicles. It didn't matter what it was. You could give me a brand new Hellcat, and I would modify the fuck out of it. It would not matter. You could give me a brand new 2025 Cummins, and I would modify the crap out of it, because that's just the kind of person I am. I did not build this truck for ultimate longevity. Now granted, I built it to be as reliable as possible for the conditions that I've given it. The plan with this truck in the beginning was just have a stock-ish truck, tune one or two, no problem. As I start to get older, I've been running these trucks for about 8 years now, and I want more power. So I bought the VGT charger, I bought 50 horsepower injectors, and I bought a mild built trans, and I said, okay, let's try to make 600 horsepower. I'll run it around 450 because that's what the trans is good for, and I beat the absolute piss out of this truck. This is not your typical, I bought a stock truck, I drive it for work, and that's it. I beat the piss out of this truck. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I run it on the 80 horsepower tune most of the time. I will pull trailers and race people because road rage. I drive it about 8 days out of the month, towing across the country. And when I'm home, those other 22 days, I daily the truck. It weighs about 9,400 pounds with no fuel in it, and 9,900 pounds with fuel in it. And I drive it like a race car. I beat the fuck out of it. I spin the tires. I ultimately beat the ever-loving crap out of this truck. So if it breaks, which I don't know where this guy was when I was, like, I had months and months and months of content where it's like nothing happened to the truck, and it was genuinely like, okay, this is cool and all, but like I have no drama content. Something breaks and the views go up. So there you go. That should answer that question pretty good. All right, so Jason Katora, he asks, or he says, try a Power Stroke. Now, you guys can go way back to, I think, 2021 or 2022, when my Dodge broke the transmission at 570,000 miles or whatever it was, NV 5600. I got to try a 2013 Power Stroke F250, towed it up, and it did all right. It's not something I liked. And then I also tried two 2020s. If you guys, I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there's a 2020 over there that I got to drive around for about a week. F350 dually, and I got to try out an F250 single wheel and drove that one for about a month. And as great as they tow, I just was not interested. I don't know. I don't have anything against it. It's just not for me. Third guy, DRD Wisconsin. He says, hey man, I've watched your videos for a while and I like your content. I guess the only question I have is, why not try a Duramax? I've seen you in several comments. I know you ran that 6.7 Power Stroke for a bit. See, this guy's smart. He's seen the Power Stroke. I've just never seen you in a Duramax. Always wondered why. Keep up the good work, bro. Love the videos. Okay, why haven't I tried a Duramax? One, the main thing is I'm not interested. But that aside, I've never had the opportunity to run a Duramax. Nobody has presented a Duramax to me that I could run, try out. Now I will say, I have seen a few of these in blue. 2018 Duramax dually, crew cab dually. I love the look of them with the hood scoop, but unfortunately, Chevy does a couple of things that I don't like. I know they have some electrical problems going on. From what I understand, some of them, I think there was like a 7-year span where they don't even use a lift pump. CP4 problems, just, they're not for me. As much as I liked, and I'm not, no hate on the Duramax crowd. I don't have anything against it. I just haven't had one to try out. I know some guys that swear by them. I know some guys that have problems with them. I just have never been presented with one that I can drive and is for, like, nobody's given me one that I can drive on the daily. So that's why I haven't tried a Duramax. Jim Oakley says, how do you afford to stay in business when broke down and pouring money into that truck? Time to upgrade to a newer, better truck and get good revenue flow. So this is one thing I don't talk about a lot, is the finances and pretty much what goes on. So, you guys know, I've already studied on this, so I won't make a big deal about it. I built this truck. One, it tows great, yes, but I built this truck because it does everything I need it to, but at the same time, I wanted something fun. I like fun vehicles. The content that it provides is also great, but money aside, I still run about 8 days out of the month. Most months, not gonna be running this month because it's broken. And I don't physically need to run. It's just one of those things, it's extra content. Every week that I run this truck out on the road is a minimum of $7,000. So it's one big, huge lump sum of money just coming in randomly. Like the week that this broke down, that was I think it was $8,600 is what I made that week. The week that this broke down. So it's more than paid for itself. Not only that, between the shop income, I have enough revenue flow. I'm not going to say I'm rich because some of the guys get the comments in there and they're like, oh, you rich, this, that. It's like, no, I'm not rich. I'm just very financially responsible. And we'll touch on that topic because I know coming from the videos and seeing the small percentage of stuff, people are like, this guy's financially responsible? Absolutely not. And I get where people would come from that, but people don't see my finances. So that's kind of to answer that question, Jim Oakley. Now, King Duckford commented on one of the posts on there and said, mods are about ego and self-image, nothing to do with useful performance. You are making the wrong argument to people like this. Bullshit to all of that. Modified vehicles in general, that's something that I've always liked. Anything I've ever owned is personalization. It didn't matter. I used to play guitar. I modified my guitars the way that I wanted them. I had a pedal board modified the way that I wanted to for different sounds. I had a drum set. I used to play drums. The same thing goes into that. Every hobby that I've ever had, I've always modified the stuff. It's just something that I enjoy doing. It doesn't matter what it is. I have a shop. I customized the shop to how I work. So to say it's about ego and self-image, I mean, everything I guess is ego and self-image because the life you live, life is pointless to a point. Like, you could die tomorrow and in a couple years time, nobody's gonna remember you, and nothing that you did most of the time is gonna have an impact on other people unless you're big on social media or something or a lot of people know you. So case in point, whether you have a fishing hobby, a music hobby, a car hobby, any of your hobbies, it's all pointless. Everything in life is to just keep you busy. So you might as well just do what you enjoy and not worry about it. The second thing with this comment is useful performance. Most of the time I will agree with that comment. He said nothing to do with useful performance. Guys throw a big ass S400 on their truck with no fueling mods
laggy as shit and have to spend most of their time towing a trailer at 2,500 RPMs. That's why I built this truck to do both. That's why I love the VGT turbocharger. It acts like a small turbo down below, and then you get the big charger up top, 63 millimeter, and I have a video of a guy making 741 horsepower with that turbo. And it's still tows great. I can tow at 1,500 RPMs with this truck. No EGT problems, no none of that, and it's only gonna get better. So when we put the new motor in, we got a 6.7 block. We're gonna reuse the 5.9 head because from my understanding, you cannot use 5.9 injectors in a 6.7, and you cannot run 6.7 injectors in a 5.9 truck because the ECU will physically not run them right. So we have to use a 5.9 head with 6.7 style injector nozzles or 305 style nozzles for the early years. So we do that, and then we're going to be getting it tuned from Firepunk, and this is going to be a complete customized, like this is not even close. It's going to use a stock block, but this setup in general is, I mean, I'm trying for a one-of-a-kind setup here. So useful performance is the big thing. I love to be able to tow and not have to rev my shit to like 3,000 RPMs. And the exhaust brake. This truck did not come with an exhaust brake from the factory, and I'll tell you what, the exhaust brake is tits. Going down the mountain, hit the exhaust brake, don't even worry about downshifting. That light's gonna freak out. Give me a second. But yeah, everything I've pretty much done to this truck has been for usefulness. The way the transmission is, the lockup switch, that thing is fucking tits as well. I can lock first gear at 5 miles an hour, whereas normally these things won't lock the converter in first ever, and it won't lock the converter in second until 28 miles an hour. So you could easily overheat the transmission. So with that lockup switch, once that converter's locked, these transmissions don't build heat after a certain point. So never have overheat issues. Transcooler is modified to be open all the time, so it always has flow through it. The wheels and tire setup I have, they're a 12-ply tire. I got 99,000 miles out of my last set, and they provide a ton of stability without me having to go to a dually, because I've run dualies, and I hate the extra maintenance on them. They're a pain in the ass. So no dually, but everything I have done to this truck, other than lowering it, that's the only mod that I would agree is kind of useless, but it looks cool. I got a comment from Michael Willingham. This guy comments a lot, big shit talker, but he's easy to get engagement from. He doesn't ever comment back when I comment, but he's easy to get engagement from, so I use guys like this for that. But he said, if you're doing so good with your shop, why do you still go out running? Why do you still good out running? I mean, if I didn't go out and run, I wouldn't have a need for a diesel truck. So then I wouldn't need the diesel truck. You see what I mean? I like having an excuse to have a modified diesel truck. So if I didn't run, I'd just get rid of the service truck. But I don't want to do that. I love this truck. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in it. I've modified it to my liking, the interior set up the way I want it. So, I mean, and not only that, content. This comes down to it. A lot of people are ungrateful. I get guys that'll follow and comment negativity on every video, which it's great for engagement farming, don't get me wrong. But these people are so ungrateful that it's like, I will go and leave my home for 8 days out of the month to give you guys a cool series of videos, something for you guys to watch. And I mean, I put time into these videos. My editing skills from like 5 years ago to now are way better. All the ums, the buts, the little, like there's times where I'll cut out a 30-second clip because it's not relevant. I used to repeat myself a ton. Not only that, aside, it's like I said, every time this truck leaves, if I'm going out to do Hotshot, I'm making a minimum of $7,000 in revenue coming in. And generally, I don't care if it's revenue or it's income or it's net. I don't care. If someone puts $7,000 in my hand and says, go run for 7 or 8 days, and that's at a minimum. Some weeks are 8, some weeks are 9. I have had one $10,000 week. But it's like if someone's going to put, let's say, $8,000 in my hand and say, go run. Even if I only profit $5,500 of that, why wouldn't I want to do it? Not only that, but the videos that come out of it after ad revenue, that week will easily put $12,000 on the plate. So, I mean, it just, whether it's the advertising or it's the ad revenue itself or it's the gross revenue that it comes out, That's why. And then this guy commented on that. He said, we're gonna get into this one. Ye old metalhead. He's not doing that well. He's only wearing his body out, more so working on the ground like that. Independent shops only do well when they have multiple low-wage chumps working under a knowledgeable shop owner. Once this guy has a rotary lift or two, maybe a girlfriend working in the office, then you can take his shop seriously. Nothing against this guy's skill set, just business facts is all. Which, the guy couldn't have gotten more wrong, and I understand it because I only post what you want to see, so from the outside in, I get it, but I also don't have a girlfriend, I have a wife. I replied back, 4 years ago, I was $90,000 in the hole. The start of 2020 in the pandemic, I had $90,000 in debt. From legal fees, from just the debt that I accrued prior because I used to just buy trucks and then voluntary repo. My life was fucked 5 years ago, let's just put it that way. Now today, I'm debt-free and live a very comfortable life. You see what I get, basically you see what I want you to see, it keeps the engagement going. My life is very comfortable now. I've paid off all my debt, I own my home, I own everything I have, and my overhead is pretty low. I mean, with the kids, the family, the wife, everything, all said and done, I try to spend less than $7,000 a month, in between about $5,000 and $7,000 a month. Not only that, but he said I'm wearing my body out. Now I'm going to tell you, 10 years ago, I had back problems, my bones, everything ached 10 years ago. I used to get up in the middle of the night and I would drink a 2 liter of soda just to do it in the middle of the night and then go back to bed. So I said, I'm in better shape than I was 10 years ago, and I feel night and day better. 10 years ago, I was about 125 pounds soaking wet. Had back and joint problems, also had body aches from soda and just a garbage diet. All of that is gone now, and I just did a 486 pound deadlift the other day, at 165 pounds, mind you, and I feel better than I ever have. My back is stronger than it's ever been, my joints, everything. I just feel healthier. I take my diet very seriously. So, all of that aside, I feel better than I have 10 years ago, and I am way financially better off than I was 5 years ago. Even 5 years ago, I was only 135 pounds, and I did not prioritize my health. So, take your health seriously, guys. Marcus Julius said, how do you find work? I'm a plumber in Ontario, Canada, but I want to do stuff that isn't plumbing sometimes. I wanted to get a trailer and all over the weekends. First things first, I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to start Hotshot trucking or even a semi-truck business or any of that, you're not going to be successful doing it part-time because the insurance is going to kill you, especially Canada. You guys get fucked so bad up there with insurance. I know we're bad here in America, but you guys in Canada get fucked. For all these years, I used to lease on to people. I had my own business at one point, or my own authority at one point, and I lived off the load boards or whatever directs they had. Now, the work that I find, I get calls weekly on direct messages, whether it's from YouTube, whether it's from brokers I've used in the past, whether it's from the company I lease under now, because I don't want my authority now, because I don't want to commit to the trucking side. I will if my insurance rates go up too much, but I'm only paying $523 a month right now for like 1 million liability and 100K cargo. Like a year ago, I was paying 300 some, so it's slowly coming up. As long as it stays under 800 bucks, I'll stay. But the main thing is, don't try to do this part-time. And I'm not going to get into this topic much, but don't do this part-time. This is a full commitment. You need to have $10,000 chilling and very minimal, if any, debt. Like, you need to be good for like 6 months. Because all it takes is for something to happen and your bills still need paid. Or the truck breaks. Like, God forbid you need a motor or something, you know? So, my 2 cents. Mac I3M, and these are just ats. YouTube changed their thing, so I don't know their real names. But this guy said, and this isn't a hate comment, you should prioritize your business reliability over what some reviews like to see that have nothing to lose from your truck potentially breaking down. Great vids though. No hate from this guy, this dude's cool. So business reliability is stuff that is behind the scenes. It's not something that you see because nobody cares about that. So the way that I set myself up, if anything breaks on this truck, anytime something breaks, I make money from it. Doesn't matter what it is. This motor breaking, I'm going to make money from it. And this is something that I get into because I don't think I touched on this topic earlier. I do not do things that are going to physically cost me money. So this whole motor thing failing, I'm going to make money from this. I bought another truck. It's got a 6.7 motor in it. I'm gonna park that truck out and I'm gonna make my money back, if not more. And the advertising for all of it, like the fact that I'm doing this and making this custom setup, no matter what, the business reliability is there. If this whole thing failed, if everything failed right now, I would be good for at least 6-8 months with no income rolling in. That's where I'm at right now. So I'm not super worried about it, and that comes into where it financially is like, I try to set myself up that I'm good. When I was doing really well and doing Hotshot full time, the second I made that last debt payment, I started setting money aside and making sure I was good. So we're good. Chris Brocksmith says, always a shit show. This is a good point here. You guys see 1% of what goes on. Literally, I don't even think you see 1% of my life. There's 24 hours a day, 52 weeks in a year, 365 days. You guys see in between a 15 and 30 minute video, and that's all you see. You don't see all the times where I'm sitting on the couch just enjoying life, going out with my family, going to amusement parks or going to the fair, or just going out to eat every Friday or Saturday. Like, that stuff you don't see. You, like, all of that stuff is behind the scenes. You don't see, you know, the 5,000 miles a month I put on my Honda that doesn't break, or the Dakota, or my street bike. You don't see any of that stuff. Or, I mean, if this doesn't break, you don't see it. Like, I'm out beating the fuck out of it, and I don't put any of that in the content. So, yeah. The videos are set up to be like that. It is set up to look like it's a shit show. It's good for revenue. Let's just put it that way. Mac Truck said, all of a sudden you're broke, because I made a comment. I said I'm financially stable, but I like to put little jokes in here. This is another guy. I use him for rage bait engagement. He'll comment something because I said something in a video where it's like, oh, that doesn't tie into whatever else you say. Like, I'll just randomly come in and be like, oh yeah, I'm financially fucked and my GoFundMe's in the description. I'll say shit like that randomly. Or like, I'll get a number wrong where it's like, hey, this was $45, but I actually spent 60. And I'll say 45 here, but then I'll say 60 later. And I'll get guys comment on that and be like, oh, that's bullshit. It's really good for engagement. So shit like that. Then this is another guy. He is really good for engagement because he'll physically fight with people in the comments, and it's hilarious. So we'll get a thread of like 30, 40 comments just from this guy alone. He said, you're funny but delusional. I got news for you. People don't watch your channel because of your great mechanical ability. They watch for the train wreck aspect. What will he screw up next? I don't even think I really need to comment to that one because, I mean, people watch because they're gonna watch. Like, this guy watches. You know what I mean? So he watches, makes negative comments, gets the engagement up. It's a win-win, really. Biloxi says, why not buy a newer/new truck instead of rebuilding the motor and transmission every other month? So I bought this truck. I put a transmission in this thing probably 2.5 years ago. Beat the fuck out of it. I probably got 120,000 miles on it. This is the first time I've actually blown up a motor since 2019. And I broke cylinder 1 on my original 04. So I don't actually go through motors a lot. I've broken 2 motors in my life on these, and I had 2 drivers. I had 6.7s, and I had 2 6.7s just drop valves randomly, but they were cabin chassis trucks, and that's a common problem on them. I don't go through motors that much. Plus, if I bought a new truck, I would end up throwing the same money in it. I have over $30,000 in Go Fast parts or comfort parts in this truck. And that's not including the new transmission that I'm going to do down the road. But like, I would just throw that money at a newer truck and it would cost me more because the newer trucks are so expensive when you break them. So that's why. Big Murph, great person, he comments a lot. Needs compound turbos. I agree 100%. And that's why I'm going to get a transmission that can handle it. We are going to go full manual valve body down the road. But I know I'll touch on this a little later because another comment's going to come in. I remembered it. But the things that you see me buy for this truck, but everything I do to the truck has to have a return on the investment. I'm doing a lot of engine work right now. If I just go and spend $7,000 on a transmission, there's no return on my investment. Y'all want to see carnage and destruction. I need to blow this transmission up. I need to have a title that says, my truck blew up. And you guys watch, I get the engagement, I'll go buy a transmission, and there's a return on my investment. But if I just go and buy a transmission now, there's no return on my investment. Let's get back to the point because I'm getting distracted here, but needs compound turbos. The plan is to take that VGT over on the shelf and put an S400 over top of it and have a setup that is good for 750 horsepower. I'm not gonna run it like that because this setup will make so much torque. Like this setup is going to be able to throw rods, so I'm going to turn it down a lot. I'll probably daily it on like the 450 to 500 horsepower mark. Because let's be real here, 500 horsepower at 1500 RPMs to 4000 RPMs is way better than 700 horsepower at 2500 to 4000 RPM because you're losing all that low end grunt. Oh damn, that was all the comments. Okay, so let's just go over this. Why don't I spend money and do it the way that, like I tell you guys, I don't worry about money, all right? I don't. What I worry about is return on my investment and having parts laying around. This is one thing. I'm not just gonna go out and order all these parts yet and just get stuff in because then I'm gonna have parts laying around and it's gonna piss me off. 2, everything you guys see me do to this truck, there has to be a return. I am going to make my money back from this and then some. It's great advertising. Like the same thing goes to all these parts over here. So while the truck's apart, it just makes sense to touch all this stuff up. This stuff here, touching all this up, is gonna make at least $1,000 off of ad revenue. And it's gonna cost me a couple of paint cans and some cleaning, but it's gonna look nice when it's done. Control arms and bags, that video is gonna do a couple $100. All of this stuff, we're gonna do it in stages and it's gonna make its money back and it's gonna, like, that's why I do it. And that's where it comes down to the business reliability as well. I understand where people are coming from because I don't show certain things. And I also don't talk about where I make a lot of my money. Like, obviously, you guys know I have a shop. Obviously, I run transport. But there's cash flow, and I'm not worried about it. And the freedom in my life because of all of this, like, you guys are awesome for actually showing interest in the videos. Whether you hate me, you like me, whether you come and you leave hate comments on every video, or you leave good comments on every video. I understand that I built the life that I have now. But without social media and without supporters, this wouldn't be possible. And I mean, I'm grateful for that because I don't have to go out and work a full-time job. I haven't worked a full-time job since 2018. And I mean, my record month back in, what was it, I had a $25,000 month in my life. Like, that just blows my mind. Now, granted, that's few and far between now. That does not happen now. But like, knowing that I can have a $15,000 month is insane to me. And I don't give a shit if it's just revenue because I would rather have a $15,000 month and be able to afford everything and not all of it be profit than work a full-time job making $1,000 a week and still have all the bills and have to take out of that. You still have expenses. I would rather have expenses and make more money and just, not only that, to show you guys how much I appreciate it. Like, I've been doing this since day one. I help a lot of people out for free. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I physically do for nothing. I don't charge people for phone calls, even though it's only for business. I get people call me and I'll be on the phone for an hour and a half at times. And I have the freedom to do that. I'll answer any DMs. I answer most of my emails, like everything I can answer and give out. And there's people that I've helped for free. Like, I'll diagnose someone's truck for them. And I'm doing this for free. Yes, I should be charging for it. I got other shit going on. But I take my time out of my day to do that, to show people that, I mean, one, I'm grateful for it, but I'm also not a terrible person. I mean, I'm cocky sometimes. I get that. You know, I talk like an asshole, but I've earned that. I've built that. But at the same time, I also understand that without people supporting, this life would not be possible. So I go out of my way to help everybody I can, no matter who it is. I'm always there for somebody in need. Whether they're strangers, I know them, it doesn't matter. And I very rarely ask for help from other people. This is where we're at. Hopefully you guys liked the video. I am going to go home because, let's see here. What time is it? I just got my the phone that I'm filming on fixed, and this one is all cracked, so I got to take this one to U-Break I fix next week to get them to fix it. But it is 2:37 in the morning. So I'm going to get out of here.
And I will be back in here tomorrow because we got to get this project out, and I got to start working on that motor right there for a customer. But seriously, if you guys need anything, go to cpstevemiller.com. Everything is there. Everything is also in the description. If you need work, you have questions, any of that, try not to call me with questions. Like if you need something and like a job done, that's when you call me. But people still kind of, you know, weed through the cracks. If you need work-wise, call. If you need other stuff, like if you have questions about your truck or if you're doing something else, Instagram, email, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Everything's open up and down there, so see you guys.